Coral bleaching. When I first learned about this weird phenomenon, corals start to turn white. They're these normally very colorful, very beautiful, vibrant ecosystems, and when the water around it starts to get a little too hot, just a couple degrees hotter than its normal temperature, if it stays like that for too long, the corals turn white. And if it stays like that for too long, then they pretty much die. And it's a phenomenon that we're seeing happening all around the planet. It's a relatively new phenomenon, and the last 2 years have been extremely bad.
And what have been the causes of that?
The direct link, every scientist we've met all tells us that the direct link is global climate change. It is ocean temperature rising, and we're seeing the oceans absorb a lot of heat, and it's killing massive, massive parts of coral reef ecosystems. Last year, 22% of the Great Barrier Reef died from hot water, just solely from hot water that stayed there for an abnormally long period of time. And there's nothing normal about that. That's not part of a normal cycle. You can't have 22% of the Great Barrier Reef die in one summer. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is mind-boggling. It's something that our team has constantly had to struggle with because the changes that we're seeing are beyond any normal scope that we could possibly imagine.
So, when did you guys start the project? When did you guys
Yeah,
start the film?
we started this project in 2013, the later end of 2013. So we've been working on it for a few years now, and this bleaching story that we've been searching for has only been getting worse and worse as the conditions continue.
Was it were you conscious of this like as a filmmaker or as someone who is like a diver, or when did somebody notice, hey, there's something weird going
Yeah.
on here?
There was an underwater photographer who reached out to me and to our team and was telling us what was going on, and I knew nothing about it before then. I'd never gone scuba diving really, and I had not really had any exposure to the oceans. It's been a huge learning curve for me just to spend so much time scuba diving over the last few years, and so it was like I'm not doing this as an environmentalist. I actually don't consider myself an environmentalist. This is something where like we know our planet's changing. This is our home. This is more of interest of protecting this home that we live on collectively, and what are we doing that's changing it right now?
I think you saying that, I think it's a good way to approach a festival like this as well, as like it's not for people who, oh, well, I'm an environmentalist, so I can get to go to this
Right.
festival.
Right.
It's like when you watch these films or when you
Yeah.
are aware of this, it's like, no, this is where we live,
Right.
and this is we're destroying the
Right.
planet. So it's interesting that you said that
Yeah.
it's not limited to people who are
Not only not limited to it, like we didn't like this film isn't made for environmentalists. Like environmentalists don't need to see this film in
that's
many
like
ways.
preaching to the choir.
Yeah, and the challenge here is there are real consequences happening right now that most people aren't aware of. And if the film community is only talking to other environmentalists, then it's just another echo chamber.
So where did you guys go? All over, right?
For this film, we had teams shooting in every coral reef region on the planet. A lot of shooting in Australia, a lot in Hawaii, in Flower Gardens, Texas, just off the coast. Yeah.
And those places, oh, bless you, bless you. Those places are so beautiful. What would people
Yeah.
be surprised to see that, there's, when we see these places like on TV, like go to
Right.
vacation here, but
Yeah.
what is it that we don't see?
It was really interesting for me when I first started this because I would meet these dive operations all over the place. And when people go scuba diving recreationally, they take you to the beautiful, healthy stuff.
Yeah.
That's where you always go. That's what you're exposed to, is just really gorgeous, healthy corals. And if you just go around the corner and you go a little bit farther away, you see the devastation, you see how much has died. And there are a lot of places on the planet where the majority of the coral is gone. And that was a big eye-opener for me. It was seeing how much is changing, how quickly. And every single scientist that I've met all says the same thing. Like, they're changing so fast, they're dying so fast. We're going to lose this ecosystem.
Well, and if we lose that ecosystem, like the coral around
Right.
the Earth, is it kind of like if when we lose the bees, that's when, is it kind
Yeah.
of like an
Yeah.
example?
Yeah, no, I think it's really challenging to convey what the consequences are, like if we lose coral reefs. In my mind, like the big issue here isn't even about coral reefs. Like this is a much bigger problem. Coral reefs are just this one ecosystem that we're seeing changing first. So it's a much bigger question for me. Like if we lose coral reefs, what else are we going to lose? How much, like what else is happening already that we don't even know about? We're facing major ecosystem collapses in this like continuous domino effect. That is very alarming to the entire science community. Every naturalist that I've met who's studying our planet and how our planet operates is extremely alarmed right now. And that's we need to be listening to these scientists. Science is most powerful when we can predict things. We know that the Earth spins at a certain rate, and we know when it's going to be light and dark out. Like that ability to predict is what makes science so powerful. And all of these ocean scientists have been predicting this. All the climate change scientists have been predicting everything that we're seeing for a very, very long time. And the projections only get worse and worse, unfortunately.
So where are you taking this film next?
Yeah. This film is going to go on tour at festivals around the country and around the world, and then later this year it'll be posted on Netflix as a Netflix original, which we're so excited about.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I think it's a different story for both Zach and I, but we started this project because one of the subjects in the film, Richard Beavers, contacted us and said, hey, you guys did this other film about glacial melting, you should really check out what's happening in the oceans. So for us, that was really the inciting incident, and it's been 3.5 years of journeying and meeting people like Zach.
Yeah, I work on a team that developed some of the equipment that kind of made the film happen underwater. And so originally I was here to provide kind of dive technician help and get these systems underwater, and they enjoyed my story and my passion for coral, something I've been a kind of proponent for and excited about since I was young. And they've given me this opportunity to kind of use my voice and share this story and passion, and hopefully it'll have an impact for especially our youth and anyone that sees the film, just to hopefully see coral through my eyes and enjoy it the way that I do. Yeah, so essentially we wanted to do time-lapse underwater, which had never been done before long-term, and my team produces something that actually can make that possible in the terms of cleanliness of a lens and a glass dome that can stay clean. And so we went right to work, and we spent probably 6 months developing a system to try and capture our changing underwater ecosystems. Yeah, certainly. So I was, I think between our entire team, we spent 650 plus hours underwater to make this film.
So you guys could teach a class too.
Certainly. We hope to.
Tell me about this film and about like the coral bleaching and the scariness of that.
Yeah, so I mean, the film actually really focuses on a journey. It's quite an adventure of the group of underwater divers and photographers that go on this mission to reveal what's happening. And for us, I think we thought we knew a lot about what was happening in the world. And going on this journey, we realized that actually that wasn't the case. And so this story kind of unfolded and revealed itself to us. I think for at least the filmmakers, it's been a really unprecedented event that we've been able to experience. Zach and Jeff and the team that was out in Australia that documented the bleaching event that happened there. It was very painful, I think, and Zach can attest to the fact that it was difficult at times. But I think overall the goal of this is to get it out to people who aren't able to see it. Only 0.1% of the population gets to go scuba diving, so this is an opportunity for people like myself who had never been diving before to see what's out there, fall in love with it, and then hopefully feel a little bit more of the importance that it has in our ecosystems.
Tell me about the community, as far as like each of the communities and the people who live there, and they have to live there and they see what's going on. What was their reaction to you guys coming in? I mean, I'm sure all of it wasn't positive. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, certainly. But these communities are making a living off of this ecosystem, so they're just as worried as the scientists are. Reefs impact a lot of people. We're talking about 500 million people that make their homes on coastal regions that rely economically for their sustenance, their protein. So these are big topics that worry a lot of people. But at the same time, there's always tourism, and a dead reef might not be good for tourism, and they definitely maybe don't want to see that promoted, but there's an in-between there, and there's a balance of promoting the protection of an ecosystem so that we don't lose these places and these people don't lose their ability to live. So there's a fine line there, and it's quite balanced.
What was the scariest place that you guys saw as far as like that whole?
Yeah, so I mean, you'll see it in the film, obviously, but we were at a location called Lizard Island in northeastern Australia, and it was kind of the bullseye for coral bleaching in 2016. So we saw rates of mortality that probably haven't been documented really anywhere else in the world up until that point. So we're talking about 98% of corals dying in those regions, and it's pretty scary numbers. And when you see before and after images of that place, they don't even look the same. So yeah, they can be extremely hard to watch and extremely hard to look at.
So what's next for you guys after this adventure? I mean.
Yeah, well, we're starting an impact campaign, but I'll let her talk more about it.
Yeah, I think after Zach's experience in Australia, we realized that not only is this something that people need to know about, but it's something that's really going to affect all of us. So what we're trying to do with the film now is to allow it to be put out into the world. Launching on Netflix, we'll have a global platform. And with that, we hope that it can be used by organizations that are already doing work in this field to further their own impact. And in addition to that, we're hoping to be very specific about where we can take the film in communities that can have a local impact. We really believe that at the local level, a lot of change can happen. So if you follow us on chasingcoral.com or at chasingcoral, you can keep up with what we're hoping to do, and we hope that you'll join us in that effort, because it really is, if we can all come together to work on this problem, it's something that is fixable.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.